Thank you, sir, for the cordial welcome remarks as well as about the photo memorial. Patel, संचालक यशवंत आंतरराष्ट्रीय चित्रपट महोत्सव मागची भूमिका स्पष्ट करतील. डॉक्टर.
Good evening. The 10th Yashwant International Film Festival, I welcome especially Raji, and your busy schedule just come and open and inaugurate. Thank you very much. And it has a great meaning that when Sharmila ji comes International Film Festival, her films have and an actor who started with a great filmmaker. Just talking to her. Just imagine, I mean, there are many art film lovers here. And making into a goddess. It's so, and she's acted so many actors, you know, very seriously, something like that. But Sharmila is very best film award, and in Marathi, the film chosen for the best film in Marathi. And we had a jury. Still, we have no in here in Yashwant. We have Argentina, France, Belgium, Ukraine, Portugal, Russia, Norway, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic. These are all 40 films coming here. Then we have country focus by UK. And speciality is that we have BAFTA award-winning films which is shown here. Then we have Indian cinema, about 4 cinema, Malayalam, Hindi, Tamil, and Bodo. Then we have Marathi films, about 6 films. Then there are tributes to Dr. Lagu. So one film, Samna, is being in Canada, and Andre Vaila film is being. This year we had international films. We received you find the logo has been made with one other world. So we had competition on the tribal films. And you know that we have 180 tribes in Maharashtra. And each tribe in Maharashtra has its own culture, its own music. Thank you.
Initially touched by for accepting the felicitation, a token of love, reverence, and appreciation. And now I would request Sharmila ji and Supriya to please महोत्सवाच्या कॅटलॉगचं विमोचन करण्याची विनंती मी शर्मिला जी आणि सुप्रिया ताईंना करते. So these are moments to be treasured in the form. I'm so glad that you've done it because it's so important. And everything did start, whether you like it or not, it did start in Mumbai. We did have a studio. Bombay Talkies here, and in Pune you had Prabhat Studio. And that somehow has remained the romantic images of that film. is still so iconic that 5 generations after the film is released, it still resonates to that romance. Difficult and complex character, and it still remains my favorite film. And hearing what you said about the festival to people to come and see good films, which sadly we are not. And I'm so glad that you started your 60 years of celebration with this beautiful music, which apparently is the land is donated by Mrs. Raj Kapoor, and there's a lot of aesthetics, in both our cultures. Wouldn't you agree? I think we are. So I think I'm so happy to be here and to be part of this celebration. And I wish and I know that under your guidance, with your integrity and passion, this festival will continue for generations to come and for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful memories, your experiences, and insightful thoughts with all of us this evening. And now I invite Supriya ji to kindly address us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Sharmila ji, Dr. Jabbar Patel, Shri Sharad Kare ji, Mahendra Desai, उपस्थित बंधू भगिनींनो, आपल्याला या 10व्या यशवंत इंटरनॅशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवलमध्ये आपल्या सगळ्यांचं मी मनापासून स्वागत करते. शर्मिलाजींनी सांगितलं की बेंगॉली लोकांमध्ये आणि आपल्यामध्ये किती साम्य आहे, आणि त्याचबरोबर या महाराष्ट्रात अनेक वर्ष राहिला, पण त्यांचं माहेर आणि त्यांचं मन आजही बेंगॉलमध्ये असं त्या म्हणाल्या. मी विचार करत होते त्याचं थोडंसं एक स्किप करून ममता दिदींना पाठवेल, त्यांना फार मजा वाटेल आणि आनंद वाटेल ते ऐकून. आणि टायमिंग पण योग्य आहे, कारण का वेस्ट बेंगॉलचं इलेक्शन पण लवकर आलेलं आहे, त्याचा उपयोग दिदींना नक्की. आता इतके वर्ष राजकारणात असल्यामुळे प्रत्येक गोष्ट कुठल्या तरी राजकारणाशी लिंक व्हायची आता थोडीशी विचार करून पद्धत व्हायला लागली. दुर्दैव आहे माझ्याकडे. पण सिनेमा is something I grew up watching, and I come from a home which is very liberal, where our dining table conversations, I think, since I was born, were about debates, and one of the big contributors in those argumentative Indian is Dr. Jabbar Patel. I grew up hearing all his opinions, and while he was speaking, and Kiran Shantaramji is also here, I think the last 5 or 6 decades of Indian cinema, Indian theatre, Indian music is absolutely dominated by legends like this. So I think Maharashtra is really proud to have this kind of contribution. And I was thinking while he was speaking, he talked about Dr. Lagu, he talked about Girish Karnadji, and I was thinking while he was speaking that there are 2 films that has influenced all of us, which when I think of Dr. Lagu, one is what his father made, was Pindra. I think it's just a movie which is never jaded or out of time. I mean, you can watch Pindra again and again, and it's absolutely a visual delight with no glamour in it, and absolutely about a woman, what she goes through. I mean, every time you see that movie, there's a different social angle that you see. And of course, Dr. Lagu has closely worked, and the profession I also partly belong to is politics. I think there's a movie made with Dr. Lagu by Dr. Jabbar Patel. I think Siyasan. I think every time I see it, Samnath, Siyasan, both. Every time I see it, I feel I'm sitting in Mantralaya today. And that movie was made 30 years ago, 25 years ago? 40 years. Oh, don't say that. I feel very old then. Almost. And it was, I think what's nice is one of the movies that he made was unfortunately was during my father's tenure as the chief minister. And the entire movie, when it was made, was shot in the chief minister's home office. And I think the entire script was not very pro-government. And it showed a lot of shades of government which were not flattering for any government. And I remember the chief secretary of Maharashtra reached out to Mr. Pawar and said, "Are you sure you want this to be shot here?" And Mr. Bhatt said, of course, why not? He said, it's quite against the establishment and you're allowing it and supporting it. He said, listen, Jabbar is a friend. He has every right to say what he has. We're a liberal thinking government. Let him do what he wants and we'll do what he wants. So that's his view. That doesn't mean we are literally that. And I think that friendship and the relationship for the last 4 or 5 decades has really taken Indian cinema, and we take so much pride because when I look back, he talked about all the Varli paintings, which remind me of Jai Jai. That's also a movie that we grew up watching where Smita Patil absolutely looks spectacular in that movie. So he's talking about first time bringing tigers. He's closely associated for last 5-6 decades for everything you've said. So there's nothing new in it. You have worked for all these causes for last 6 decades. So I think we need a huge round of applause for Dr. Patel for everything that he has contributed in cinema. And a movie which I would like to mention again is Smita Patil, which he had Girish Karnadji in it, is Umberta. I think it is absolutely a spectacular movie. Umberta is something for every woman who drives a career to watch. I think it's amazing. It's sort of, even I think of it several times that Supriya, don't cross the Umberta, remember the movie, So every woman as a professional wants to drive a career, but her heart is still in her family. I don't know if you noticed, Jabbarji was praising Sharmila ji. She was content. But the minute she spoke about her son, her entire expression changed. She suddenly, the glamour, actress, success of all her effort in cinema was on one side and her child was on the other. There's no patch to that. Passion and love to see your children succeed more than you. I don't think any parent wants it better that way. So I think all these emotions, human emotions that we grew up watching, feeling, is what Indian cinema is about. And I take great pride because I think Indian cinema needs to be nurtured, shared with new generations because cinema is getting dated. What she said is absolutely true. I hate to admit this to you, Sharmila ji, with a huge apology attached to it, that I haven't been to a theatre for 2 years. I mean, of course, the excuse is, oh, I don't have the time, but it is all rubbish because you make time for everything that you want to. But I'm such a absolute follower of Amazon, Netflix, that life has become so easy that I don't have to wait for a 3 o'clock show or 9 o'clock show. It's when I want, I can watch it. And you're absolutely right. There's 100 distractions. You're never so focused that you're missing the breathing. You're absolutely right. That's the real cinema which is in a theatre. I think our generation and the one after that is just believing in downloading and really missing the real essence and the soul of good cinema. And I think Netflix is, I mean, what your son did in Sacred Games, I said, my God, he was a chocolate hero. There's such a deep, intense man hidden in him, which Netflix brought out, and even Tanaji. And I have an emotional attachment to Tanaji because it's shot in my constituency, and the whole character is based in my constituency. And I'm so lucky that Chhatrapati Shivaji and all these great warriors are all in the area which I represent. So I take great pride in such movies of real warriors and historians, which actually is a great example of India and the generations to come. So I think cinema plays a very good role and an important role. It keeps a check on us. Because I think Indian cinema reflects what is happening in society today. So when I see Samna and see Hassan and I feel, oh God, this movie is not jaded. Am I sitting in Mantralayah today? It actually scares me and worries me that really as administrators or people who are decision makers, legislators, have we really done a good job? Sometimes I feel maybe we failed. Otherwise this movie should have been outdated by now. Completely. So it actually hurts somewhere, and I think India is a great platform for free thinking, free cinema, because I think somewhere today, it's so strange, while all of us are talking, he was talking about Jait and tribals. Today there is a whole lot of dialogue about CAA, NRC. Trust me, people are probably not even aware that the people who are going to get hurt the most are not the Hindu Muslims, it's the tribals he's talking about. Because they absolutely have no documents. So where will a tribal family look for? So I really compliment you that you have taken this entire tribal cause right at the time when they really need a voice in this country. So I think movies like Jait need to be watched. The tribals need a voice, and cinema is the best way to get to people, I think. And it's absolutely an equalizer. There is nobody up down in cinema. It's absolutely equal. and the amount of hard work and passion that goes. Unfortunately, we all only see the glamour. We only see the photographs getting taken by all of them and say, wow, what a life. My God, they work much harder than us sometimes. I feel the retakes must be so boring. Factory hours. Because I met an actress recently and she was telling me, oh, I have to go for a run in the morning for some ad. I said, what time? 5 o'clock. I said, aren't you going to sleep then? You know, it's 9:30. She said, no, I'll stay awake all night, do the event and then sleep. I said, how's that possible? She said, that's how our lives are. And still you have to look good, fresh and happy. I think it's really a tough life. But I must say one thing about you. That there are two women I've met, and I think people from my generation who are in their late 40s, early 50s. I won't tell my age. You're being very gracious about your age. I don't want to. But I think if there are two women in India, we all want to age like. One is Vaidaji and the second is Sharmila. Absolutely. Class and dignity are past. I think there are not just women, but women of substance, intelligence, talent, you are legends. And I think without it being like an absolute street fighter, there are still very strongly opinionated and still beautiful women. I think people, my generation idealizes like you. You are a Sapno ki Rani, not just for the man, but even for women like us. I think it's really absolutely stunning that you can keep your beauty, womanhood, which is so beautiful to be a woman, and still have very strong views and opinions. You can firmly say them, but in a very dignified manner. So I think we salute all your generation of actresses who have contributed to our lives. And I hope we can take these traditions and Bengali saris, Bengali tradition, Bengali food. Something very, I think what happens to me when I go to Calcutta is something which is only one problem I have with y'all, which is tobacco control. Smoking is so fashionable today, even in Bengal, and Bengalis love to smoke. So every time I go there, I say, there has to be a pan-India, then the Bengalis say, we don't want you here. Please leave. Because the Bengali culture, the dialogue, and average Bengali also has such strong opinions. He or she is so well read. I think all these Bengali contribution to India is something I think we all salute, we appreciate, and the bond that you have brought between our two states. You're actually not just bound, you are bound to India because you're Sapno ki Rani, not of the two states, you're of the country and generations of 5 decades. So I really compliment you. I hope you guide all our generations ahead like this. And truly, I'm honored to share a dais with you today. And thank you so much for making this happen. Thank you.
It was a sheer delight listening to your connect with cinema. Thank you also for sharing your childhood anecdotes with us. आजच्या या आनंदाच्या प्रसंगी सर्वांना संबोधित करत आपण आपल्या सिनेमाशी निगडीत आठवणींना उजाळा दिला. खूप खूप आभार. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw towards the closing of this inaugural function, I would like to thank all the can we have Adinath on the stage, please? Are you here?
Please come.
Please.
He presented the music show.
Can we hear it loud for him? So that is Adinath Mangeshkar, who guided the students of MIT ADP University Music College, better known as the Vishwa Shanti Sangeet Kala Academy, who presented the Maharashtra Geet and the Hindustani musical choir as we began the inaugural ceremony. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude with the national anthem, Kindly Rise in its honor. कार्यक्रमाची सांगता आपण राष्ट्रगीताने करूया. We will all sing together. Let's begin. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय भारत भाग्य